Hello! In this video, we're going to show you how to upload a new sale listing into the HGMLS. The HGMLS stands for the Hudson Gateway Multiple Listing Service. It's operated by the HGAR, which is the Hudson Gateway Association of Realtors. It's the primary realtor association and MLS database in the Hudson Valley. So let's begin. Hit Matrix, that is the name for the MLS software. Add edit. In this example, we already have some listing details that we've asked the owner to submit on our website. If you take a look, this is a single family home. This is one of the most common property types in the Hudson Valley. So let's do an example. So in this section, you can find pre-populated data for the listing by entering some brief information. So for example, you should select a county and then enter one of the following. So either street number, street name, owner name, tax ID. If you are not sure where this property is located, simply Google where the address is, or where even the town is. If you Google this, very straightforward, tells you it's in Westchester. Sorry, you got to be careful about this. So this is 55 Fowler Avenue. So you should write it exactly as they prescribe. So you see that this is already pre-populated, or there is an existing listing or listing data. So many of these fields will be pre-populated, which will make it actually easier for us. First one is access. So you can either say broker, combo, lockbox. This is fairly common. Let's just say combo lockbox. Keep in mind that the fields that are actually that are in this yellowish color are required, and you can often tell and find more information if you hover over them. You'll see that these are certain fields that are required. In these fields, what typically people do in HGMLS is they will fill out this one as it is the most important. These people just either essentially leave blank by putting 0. It's very unclear, this broker agent field, regardless. And then we always have exclusive right to sell listing agreements. You can also hit validate to make sure that if the fields are complete. So everything on this page is actually acceptable, but it'll show errors for the following incomplete sections. So let's head to the next section. You can leave these as is. You'll see that these fields have been pre-populated, which is quite nice. Only this field remains undone. If you're not sure, you can ask the seller always. In this case, it should be pretty straightforward because the post office actually matches the address. Let's go back and fill out the rest of this information. It's not bank owned, this is the list price. The list date and the expiration date, let's leave blank for now because these sections are very important. The listing date should always be the same day technically within 24 hours of a listing agreement being signed. It must be uploaded within 24 hours or else we face an automatic fine. The expiration date should be, in our listing agreements, it's typically 180 days after it first goes to market, so you can actually use Excel and do today's date plus 180 and then you'll get the expiration date. Here's an example. Today is 4/6/2019 plus 180 days. You get October 3rd, 2019. So assuming that the listing agreement has been signed, then we need to go ahead and do this. It doesn't matter whether it's a weekend, it's 24 hours regardless. Those are the years. So attached or detached, it's not attached. Name of complex, not available, pet restrictions, where it's not applicable rather, so no restrictions on pets, lease available. Lease available. This is typically no, because this is a single family home, so by default it shouldn't be unless you see it in the notes. Lot size is automatically there. Lot description, end of cul-de-sac. So let's see if any of these match. And style is colonial. Style is colonial. Perfect. Lot description, end of cul-de-sac. End of cul-de-sac. Well, if this is not a required field and if you don't see it, then that's fine. Style colonial. Board approval required. Again, this is not applicable. Building management not applicable. If for some reason a part is not filled out, for example in this case, then we can always go back and ask the seller. And in the meantime, you can always, if you really are in a crunch, you can actually just Google the address and take a look for yourself to see what it is. So let's leave this for now. The schools we should have. Well, actually, if you scroll down, construction is up here. It's frame. So usually it will be in order. Perfect. So we have that. School information. Lakeland Schools. Elementary is Van Cortlandville. Middle school is Lakeland Cooper Beach. Junior high and middle school is the equivalent in the United States. High school is Walter Panas. Perfect. Estimated annual tax, this is from the seller. Other, that's from the seller. For this section, we should always select this. M3, if and when, compensation, if and when. So this is essentially what this means is that the commission is essentially paid at closing. That is our understanding of it. It's important to select because otherwise it might be construed that the seller would owe commission perhaps with an accepted offer. That's definitely not what you want. So select this as the default. And then let's go to the next section. And of course, you can always hit validate. You see that all of the pieces here are good generally, except for the list price. I wonder why. Do not enter comma, so we don't have commas. And the should be fine. It is fine. So let's go to the next page. Rooms. Square footage. I have this. This comes from the owner. Oh, municipality, they say. Okay. Total number of rooms, 8. Four beds, 2 full baths, 1 half bath. 4 beds, right? 2 full baths, 1 half baths. Attic is full stairs, basement is full. Attic is full stairs, basement is full. Okay. Next page, features. Well, they gave amenities anyway, so let's add it if possible. Fireplace, central air. Walkout basement. Covered porch, patio, sheds. Some of this you can say, see remarks. You can put this in the remarks if they're not here. Included items, all fixtures, appliances as currently configured. Again, sometimes this is better just to put in C remarks. We find it to be easier because they often won't be mentioned. Let's take a look at parking. 2-car attached garage plus driveway. 2-car attached plus driveway. Okay. Let's validate. Utilities. Heat is forced air. Heat is forced air. Air conditioning is central air. Hot water is electric. Sewer is septic. Water is municipal. Garbage is public. Fuel, it does say oil, tank and basement. Oil, tank and basement, so it's below ground. Okay. Remarks. This is where you put the property description. Not, you put it in here in public remarks. This is the public listing description. And of course, we should always scan the listing agreement, even if you just written it a few days ago, just to make sure that there's no self-promotional information. You can't put open house dates in here even. You can't put your contact information. And you definitely have to be very careful about any fair housing, potential fair housing violations. So for listing descriptions, typically that means being very careful when describing school zones, saying it's family friendly. There's a lot of literature out on this if you just Google it, but just be very careful that you're not potentially discriminating against any classes or types of people. Make sure that the listing description is about the property. Again, you know, shouldn't say family friendly, great school zones, even though that might be a legitimate or potentially legitimate selling point. You cannot include it, unfortunately, because it is a potential fair housing violation, and that's very serious. So let's just scan through this. So in this example, everything looks fine except for this part about the kids, or say for everyone. And remember these items that we didn't get a chance to fully put, we can put them in the agent only remarks here. Let's validate. Seems like we are all good. We simply need to put the photos now. So first of all, let's always save as incomplete. We can add and edit some photos. Let's go ahead and browse, choose them from your computer, and then just download them, or upload them rather. In this specific situation, the owner has already provided us with some professional photos they had taken previously, and that they have ownership of, which is very important. We can't use another broker's photos because that will automatically result in a fine. So these are photos that the owners took professionally. They own them, they do not belong or were never used by another broker. So hence we can open this Dropbox link, download the photos, and then upload them in the HGMLS. Let's do this now. Go on ahead and open the link. You can do a direct download to your computer, to your downloads folder. So the owner has actually done a very good job by providing these photos in the most logical order. And we would have done this anyway, but they did this for us. It is their home, so let's trust them on this. For example, the first photo was the front of the house, which is pretty sensible for single-family homes. So this is already numbered. The file names had them numbered from 1 to 27. So perfect, we don't need to do anything. If it was just a random order, then we should certainly use our judgment and put them in the most reasonable order. For single-family standalone properties, you typically want the outside main photo in the beginning, and then followed by, of course, photos of the main interior spaces such as living rooms and dining rooms, and then followed by perhaps bedrooms, and then lastly by bathrooms. The same logic goes for a condo or co-op, except for a condo or co-op apartment, you would want to lead with the perhaps the best living room shot, and then followed by perhaps kitchen, other living spaces, bedrooms, then bathrooms, and then perhaps lastly an image of the outside of the building. So that is the typical order. Anyway, if we wanted to, we could move these around, but like this, but you certainly don't need to. For example, if you wanted to, you can move them, or you should be able to at least. Let's see if we're able to. Well, perhaps you are able to after you after we upload them. So this is fine for now. So this is generally ready to go. You can hit submit listing at this point, though what we recommend, hit save as incomplete. Now you should have your executed listing agreement ready, and remember, for the HGMLS, this needs to be uploaded within 24 hours of signing of the listing agreement. So you should always upload your listing agreement. Rather, create new transactions since this is a new listing. This is a residential sale. It already knows this as the listing agent always. And then this is very straightforward. You can literally drag and drop the listing agreement here. You can click here to go browse through your computer and just drop it here. Once you've uploaded, select the agreement type. This should be, these are all the various ones, but for our purposes, just listing agreement. And then make sure it's private MLS staff only. In this example, we don't have the fully signed agreement yet, so this is why I just uploaded a sample, actually a photo, but this is how you delete it if you uploaded something wrong. Anyway, let's go back. So this is really it. Let's assume that you did upload the listing agreement, so that would have been completed, and then all you would need to do is hit continue editing. You should hit validate one more time. You don't see any red marks, that means it's good to go. I would always check through each of these boxes again just to make sure that we do have everything correct, and then hit submit listing, and that's it. If you've enjoyed this video, please feel free to check us out at monskyrealestate.com to learn more about us and how we are rated one of the best brokerages for new agents in both the city and in the Hudson Valley. At Monsky, we are one of the very few firms where commission splits start at 75% to agents for their own independently sourced and executed deals, and where we don't have any hidden fees. So we don't believe in any sort of software fees, franchise fees, transaction fees. There will be no surprises. And besides that, at Monsky, we offer the opportunity to work on company-sourced sales transactions, even for new agents. So this is a great way to get your feet wet, and we believe the best way to learn is to work on live transactions. If you're interested, please give us a shout. Check us out at www.monskyrealestate.com. We'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to see more videos just like this, and leave us a comment, like the video, and we'll get back to you. Thank you so much.